His question is, must you resign your job to go to serve the Lord? Or is it possible to continue to serve the Lord as a teacher or as a doctor? Must you resign? When God calls you, can He only call you to leave your job? And this guy is both. He wears a collar, he is a teacher. Let him tell us.
Thank you, John. I tended to ask people what is the significance. I wear, we call it the dog's collar. The history of it is that dogs used to be identified with a collar which is marked, and the owner's mark is put there, so that when it is lost, you know where to take it. So when they wanted in the Middle Ages, what they would do with those people who are serving in the church, they said they needed to put a collar as an identity of nobility, so that they identified who they are serving. They are serving the church. They are not serving God. They are serving the church. And I wanted to make it very, very clear that there is always a difference. There is the church, the organization, and there is the church, which means that you are working for whoever has given you the commission. The convention for us Christians is one: go and make disciples of each and every nation, teaching them to observe. That's the church. That's the Christ church. The other one is the organization. I have served in the Anglican church, and I have never earned a stipend as a clergyman. I have always earned my salary as a teacher. So literally, I am employed on my profession, not on the clerical job, though I had to put the collar, the dog's collar, to be identified with something. So this one identifies me with the Anglican church. But for a Christian, mine is the Great Commission. Go. But what has happened? Majority of us have remained in the church, the building, or in the institution, and people are coming from outside wondering, what are these people enjoying in here? I want to see what they're coming. And then when they come in, they find you are erecting the board of this one, the chairman. They say, hey, we have been looking for these possessions outside there and fighting. Who may even here they are there? You find them raising the hand, and then you erect them. So the church has become almost secular than the other organization that we are talking about. So you can remain a minister with your profession, wherever we are, as long as you know your calling is, it is go and share your faith, share the direction that you have, and that is what there is. And I tended to ask people, what was Paul's main calling? He remained a tent maker. Yeah? In the Anglican church, we have a clergy like me. I'm not paid, I have never been paid a salary on that line. I'm a tent maker. So I do my own, the business that I'm called in, the profession I am in, and I serve the Lord in my faith, sharing my faith. So I normally tell people that I did not go to the Anglican church for a salary. I went to the Anglican church to share my testimony and my life, my way of life. You can share your life as a minister, doing whatever you do daily and remaining a minister in that format.
Thank you. I want to ask my wife, who has never been a pastor even for half a morning, to answer the question, is she has she answered the call? And yet she has never been a pastor. I think that's gender equivalent, isn't it? You have heard from a man, let's hear from a lady. Have you answered the call?
Yeah. Rebecca Ng'ang'a is my name, and I'm born again. I'm rooted in the East African Revival Fellowship, where we begin with a testimony. I wish I can recruit you, because sometimes we wonder, are you still saved? Because the salvation of last week may not be this week. As my husband says, I am a person, often I go with him or alone, and I hear people talk, and I feel like learning out. I've been in a conference in Britain. I'm in a hall. I'm contributing. But as people are praying, I sneak out, because I don't want them to ask me who I am, because I don't know who I am. I struggle. Let me say, I wasn't given a chance for my testimony, but I would say, I got born again in primary school, and now that I have Rachel, and in 1967, I'm an Anglican by birth. I am born in a priestly home. My father served as a reverend. I struggled in my primary school because I can't say I was sent away from school because of lack of fees. No, I didn't. I can't say I was slept hungry. Yeah, which basically people talk of that poverty. I mean, okay, compared to today, it will be different. But I had a dress to change from school. When you are poor, the school uniform, you turned it inside out. I had a Sunday dress and even the everyday dress. So there are issues that I know I don't fit in. I had shoes when nobody had shoes in my primary school. So I had to hide my shoes, only wear them when we go out with my father, who had a car in a community where people didn't have cars. Are you getting me? So, I mean, if I speak from another angle. But let me say, I am a person who doesn't know what is my career, my profession. I don't know. I think I was somewhere and everybody saying, I am a teacher, I'm an engineer, I'm a lawyer. I'm thinking, what am I now? None of the above. And literally, that's the truth. It is the grace of God. The saving grace of God that I am talking about. Let me tell you, I am a plain woman. I'm not beautiful. I'm not clever. You know, those number one. But sustained by the grace of God. Let me tell you a testimony. Those who haven't heard it. I was Form 2, Form 3 there. When we were told that, now I know the word, it was not there. But our people are going to sing to our Italian priest, who was a music person, so that you are recruited to join school choir. Now, joining school choir meant you go out. You know, I mean, and I don't know, those of you who have been to boarding school, you know, going out and eating different food from school. I mean, it's life. That to me was life. Now, people were told, you know, they go to a hall where the person would read. That's now called auditioning. I remember saying, I'm also going. And my class burst into laughter because I don't have a singing voice at all. That's not, I'm saying I'm not gifted. I have nothing special that I can call a gift. But I know the grace of God. Do you know? I told them I'm going. So they laughed and I went. As I went, I prayed. Miracle working God, make me be taken. Okay, I can't see how. Do you know, I went and I sang. When the list came out, I was there. I was there. And I'm telling you, we traveled. Gatondo, Taivaho, in National Choir, I was there. And we took soda. I enjoyed my high school thoroughly because there is a God in heaven who does miracles. I didn't know they were looking for a girl to sing bass. Now, oh God of all creation, bless this. Now answer the question. Anyway, now, why I've said all that, one is to give my testimony and talk of a living God who is very present to this day. To me, signs that follow those who believe. If they are not following you, question your salvation. If God is not present and he has to do only what you can do, he is not present. Can you be a professional and called by God? To be a Christian to me is to be called. Because I am the one who called you. It's not you called me, John 17. So if he has called you, what did you call you for? To be spirit-filled is to speak in other tongues and people hear you. So what were you speaking about? And men and women were filled. And Peter quoted Joel. It's men and women. So to me, let's revise our history. Here now I become an educator, which is what I've done for the last many years. But I did become for my first degree. That's why I'm saying now, if I say I'm a teacher, I've never been trained. But I am a lover of God. That's all I know. And he takes me through. So you sit there. He is always auditing me. Yeah, we did become together, but he was a year ahead. But now I moved. I wish I could tell you my story. Now, so, as I've been studying, because I went to school and I have lived in school, as I was studying and looking at history, this issue of being called, this issue of sacred, to me, are things of 17th, 18th century, but not biblical. That it is me who is called, sanctified. It is true there are people who organize us, and that's okay. But right now in Kenya, it has been given more value than it should. It has picked an American culture at Baptist and that kind of thing, and it is ruining the kingdom of God, because I believe in the priesthood of believers. And all of us are priests if you are born again. That's why even for me, I have prayed for the cripples. To be young is nice. To be young, you'll do anything. We were talking with my husband. You come from University of Nairobi, the service, you go to Baptist, I go to Osens, he goes to Karioko. I mean, we ended up with 3 services and it's all working and it was okay. So to be young and waste your time there looking at each other is wrong. Be on duty. Be on duty. Ask the Lord what he wants you to do. In your estate, in your neighborhood, in the church. Church activities are not ministry. Those are ways of us organizing ourselves. Ask the Lord. Go to Kenyatta Hospital if the Lord sends you there. Pray for the sick. Pray for the doctors. Pray for the politicians. Because why are politicians not believers? Why are we talking of them versus us rather than us? I think to me, if Christ has called you, be on duty. Read Matthew 20. If he has hired you, be on duty, his duty, and that will be wherever you are. It is you called. There are no institutions that are sanctified, including the church buildings. It is individuals who are called.
Thank you. We have been together for 45 years, so I can say she's an educator, not a teacher. God has called her to remove ignorance from people. So she has spent the last many years just removing, and that's her calling.
Well, we have a few questions, and time is pressing, so I will be as brief as possible. The first question that I'm handling is the one where somebody asked about marriage and distance. Being a distance, you're married, but you are far apart. In distance, you meet on maybe that's the way I'm understanding. I hope that's the question I'm asked. When I got married, my wife was working in Kitui. And she was the only science teacher who was to oversee the school certificate practicals for the examinations. So she was given only a few days, 1 week, to be away, and then go back and prepare the candidates for the examination. I was on the other side. Of course, I had a team of others we were doing, but we stayed apart. I was all the time worried, what is going to happen? We got married and we are living in two different places. So it was almost a way that one weekend she will be in Nairobi, the other weekend I'll be in Kitui. And that time, traveling was not that easy. There was only one bus called Uhuru Nakazi, flying from Nairobi to Kitui. And if you missed it, there was no way of getting to Kitui. So my boss was was always very jocular. He was an old man. Actually, he used to tell me that he was old enough to be my father. So he would come and tell me, Sam, you know you are owned by somebody. And then I would be wondering, what is this? What is he trying to say? He told me, you know, the day that woman came to your house, the next morning she was talking of my house, my seat, my husband. Everything was hers. So I know you are owned. So when you are owned, take care and make sure that you remained owned. And you remained, if you are property of somebody, take care of it. Then that was not all. When we were married, I was to be in UK for a number of years. And I'm away. My children now were there and the mother. But it happened that my children taught me a lesson in life. Because I would go in the evening and I would go and spend a long time in the evening with the school boys in the dormitory, talking about issues in life, talking about the difficulties they are experiencing, and then I'll be away. So one time my daughter came and told me, Dad, I wanted to have a talk. I said, a talk? Yeah. What are we talking about? I'll tell you. I said, okay, I am here. I said, when you go to school to talk to school boys, they have their fathers and their mothers. Remember, you are my father. I need to have time with you. Now, that stung me heavy. Because I never thought that anybody could come and is asking a question that is very, very direct into the issues that I have in life. So I said, all right, tell me, what do you want to do? He said, I know it is very important that you work. And when you are going to talk to the boys in school, you are working. And that's how we get our daily food and provision. But we also need to have our dad. Can we have shared time between your work and us as children? I said, oh, good. Can you organize that because you seem to be so clear? And then they looked at me and they told me, when we leave school, we would like to have time to tell you what we experienced when we are in school, whom we talked to, and what they said, and you tell us. I said, okay, that's good. What do you want over that? They told me, hey, from today, please arrange. We don't need to be picked by a driver. We need to be picked by you from school. And when we come from school, we need to talk to you and tell you our problems, our hardships, and other experiences that we have. And during that time, please, unless your routine is so tight that you can't, can you honor that? I said, I'll try. They said, okay, that's the deal done. Then after we get home, don't go to school. Let us also be able to tell you about our story, and you also tell us something. Then after supper, you can go to school and remain there as long as you want. But during that time, which is ours, please ensure that it is honored. I talked to them, and they kept keeping me on my toes. Because in the school, I used to do most of the things. At one time, I'm a housemaster. At the other time, I'm a deputy headmaster. At the other time, I have other social activities. I was in charge of the CU. I'm planning the chapel. All those things. In fact, the students used to tell me, tell us, in which capacity are you here? Because there will be a time when I'll go and we are having the chapel, and I'll be sitting on the headmaster's seat because I'm the acting headmaster. Then the next time, I'm on the seat of the chaplain. I'm the chaplain. The next time, I'm the CU patron. So here I am. The other time, I'm the housemaster. The housemaster is supposed to be playing a father figure, talking about the social issues and the way you are understanding. And since that was part of my training, I used to enjoy the pattern. So the students would be wanting to see me during the time when I'm having the children. Remember, I agreed that I will follow the routine. And now the boys have come. There is an issue which is so pressing where they are, and they want a solution from my house. So they come. Whenever they touch the doorbell, my daughter would rush very fast and get there. They say, another boy is unwell. Call their father. Why do you want my dad? This is time for us. Don't interfere with me. And then the boys happened to know them very well, because they would be talking to them. They would be teaching them Sunday school, so they know. Say, excuse me, can we get your permission to talk to your dad? They say, my permission? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll give you permission now. And things should continue that way. But I arranged a routine which has helped me in life from my children. So my children were the ones who are organizing me. It is not me who was organizing. And I did that. Then I have said that I was out in the UK alone. My family is out here. Occasionally, I used to get a ticket to come home and be with the family for a month or so. But I was out there. But one thing that I know and I remember is that during that particular time, remember, those were the years. You are told about the telegrams. The telephones were very hard to get by. But somehow, the letters, I used to expect 2 letters a week from my wife. Yeah, each week. I was always getting the news about my family every Wednesday morning, and a letter was always sure to be there. And I was also getting another one on a Saturday, and he should be telling me about that. I will not be able to write 2. I will write 1 when I'm having the weekend off. But we kept in touch with one another. One of the areas that I found is that the family life out there, the body is not that strong. So every time I went, And I was disadvantaged because I went to a college, Church of England College. The college I was in used to be Women Teachers College. So when the school, the university school of education had 5 colleges, one was purely for men, Church of England teachers. And I was placed in a women teachers college because that's the time when they were integrating the 2 sexes, the gender issue. And the local people did not want to go to those colleges. So it is the foreigners who are pushed in there. So you have no choice. You are told you have come for education, there you are. So we are always there with them, and they are keeping on wondering what is wrong with me. I used to tell them I'm in my mid-20s, late 20s, not mid, late 20s, and the oldest of them would be 21. So I used to tell them, I'm old enough to be your father. So when you are here asking me about my family, I have a family. And every time they are arguing, their argument is always, how can you be having a family which is nowhere? So that also kept me on my toes. Because all the time I have a story, I'll tell my wife about those things that have happened, what is happening. But it remained live. We are able to communicate and share and feel that we are together spiritually. We will be able to encourage one another, and that kept us going. The openness. So in the family, there is a children, there are the 2 man and wife. There must be an open way of talking and communicating, even when there is a distance. These days, there are all sorts of things that you can communicate with. Those days, there were none. And that happened. But I know I kept my possession live. All through, we agreed one thing. We have nowhere else to go. And I told my mother when I was getting married, if I will get a 10 by 10 room, that's where my wife will be. I never expect her to be with you because my wife is my business, not yours. So I'll keep her, and we remain that way. And we tried very hard not to own even a small hut back home. We remained far away. And perhaps that explains why even in my retirement I have settled in Kikuyu instead of going back to Kinagop, where we came from, or getting to other places where we thought we could settle for retirement. The distance of the couple determines the relationship that you have. How close are you? Distance may be there, but the openness of heart makes the difference. I don't think I have any other explanation to give. My wife cannot be able to answer anything.
I've had brothers speak, and I was saying it's the same thing being repeated over and over again, like people falling apart. Nowadays, we hear that a lot, where people today are in love and tomorrow they are irreconcilable differences. Where do they come from? Did you go for counseling, for premarital counseling? What did they tell you? That there will be irreconcilable differences which will make you go apart? I don't think anybody would tell you that. So I think the most important one is, do you talk to each other? Do you? Because most of the times, it comes because you don't communicate. Hamwongei, mtu anakataa, anakasirika, na anaenda zake. Maybe to the mother or to the closest buddy, and there you go. And you go forever. Because I've even seen where I come from, some people had gone there for a girl, and the boy was from Kikuyu land. And they went, they got married, they paid the dowry and what have you. And then in 3 weeks, there were differences. And these are the ones you are calling irreconcilable. So, see, now they go for counseling with both parents. So you have brought me 400,000, and now here they are. So you ask your girl, so can we talk? The girl says, okay, let's talk. But when you go to talk, it is not reconciling you. She says, we have had enough. And the young man, yeah, actually we can't live together. What do you do as a parent? You are listening. What do you do? So you let them be. And the girl says, actually, I'm even going out of the country. So the boy is remaining here. The girl is going abroad. And this is a wedding you celebrated. There was premarital counseling. There was very good things happening. The parents have given each other a lot, the dowry. And then if you are the one who produced the dowry, are you going to ask for it? So let me say, most of these things come because, to begin with, you are not serious. Because if you are determined to do something, these irreconcilable differences will not come about. You talk to your friend. And before that, you are talking. And you even included others in premarital counseling. They told you what can happen. And were you serious? Would you still want to go on after hearing all that? So let us say, in Christianity, Christ, who has saved you, has saved your wife or husband to be. And if this is the center of life and your relationship, first, talk to him. Is this what you wanted for me? Is this the guy? Is this the girl? And if he is the one, then ask yourself, what is wrong with me? And from there, we can communicate. Otherwise, I don't see these irreconcilable differences, which I keep on hearing about everywhere. Irreconcilable, which are they? Yeah? Has man ceased to be man and woman ceased to be woman? So, it is, first of all, very serious. When you are getting into a relationship, let Christ be the center. And if you are ready to live on, then I'm sure Christ will show you which way to take. When you get into a position where you say, now, what am I going to do? You don't know what to do. Yeah, go to him. Get your friends or even your pastor or whoever is there and tell them what you are feeling. And somebody might be able to help you. So please let us have Christ as the center of our lives. If not that, your mother will not help you. Not even your close relatives. Go have a communication with Christ, and then your pastor can come along and try to help. So, I don't know whether I've said anything.